Thanks for joining me. We are going to take a deep dive into the grip today. Why it is so important to how you control your club face, why the best players in the world have such great grips, and what errors you are doing in your game because of a bad grip. Let's go through some of those. The good side is you can actually use a bad grip to your advantage in certain shots. However, that will limit you in the other end of the golf bag. So we're going to figure out which one you've got, and then we're going to go on from there. Let's go. Let's dive into it. Let's talk about the hand placement on the grip itself. So what I would like to see is I'd like my grip to be diagonally through the fingers here so that the cap of the grip is out the back. So you can see as I close my fingers around, let the hand kind of squeeze it in just enough that I don't let go of it. There's a little bit of the grip sticking out the back. This will save your gloves. If you're splitting a lot of gloves, it's because your hands are holding it in the palm here, and you can see that cap's there. That's going to make the club twist a lot through impact. That would be a definite cause of that glove getting split. So here we go. We're going to place my hand on here in the fingers diagonally like this. As I close, my thumb is just to the side. My V now is going towards my right shoulder. Let me turn this way, might be better for you. This one again is diagonally across my fingers this way. And that will then come on top of that thumb, and you can see my two V's are heading up towards my right side. This is my neutral grip. You can see the club face stays nice and square down there. Make sure you go on and subscribe to the channel, like the video. I love hearing your comments down below as well. Right, let's take a look at what happens with a neutral grip. If my grip is neutral, as I showed you at the beginning there, as I start my takeaway, what you'll see is the face angle is slightly tilted over. The club's just outside my hands. That's in the first part of my backswing here. My arms are going to remain pretty neutral. From there, as I pivot up, you're going to see a club face where the face angle is very similar to this left wrist, left forearm. That would be so-called neutral. We're going to build golf swings around all types of grips, okay? So that's what works for me. It works for other players. However, let's look at someone with a strong grip. So strong grip would be left hand on top. Remember, this is the one that's going to close more going through. So here's the downside to this. Because this arm is already twisted this way to allow my hand to be on top, in the backswing, it's prone to actually going back to here, so that when that gets flat, you'll see now the face angle is more this way. This would give us with a stronger club face at the top. And then on the way down, it's going to require not allowing that face to close anymore coming through, because you will hit the ball left with a closed face. This would be very prominent in junior players. I see this a lot in juniors where they learn the strong grip. And then what they'll then learn to do is they'll swing out to the right like this, and they'll hit nice draws. However, as they grow and they get stronger and they get quicker, this can become uncontrollable. So there's a development time in there for juniors that we want to make sure that they take care of. Good swing for someone who slices the ball would be to put it this way. So to work on a stronger grip, that'd probably be one of the first things we would look at. So speaking of our slicer friends out there, what we have with a slice grip is a thumb that's more on top of my handle. So that's going to deliver a club face in the backswing that wants to rotate, because to weaken my grip, my arm is turned this way. So now as I go back, you're going to see there's a lot of rotation in the club face. When I get to the top here, you'll see that the toe of the club is now more underneath the shaft. That's going to lead to a more open club face coming down, which is going to require a lot more rotation in the forearms to try and square it, you see there. So that's going to look more like this, coming down to square it. So when we look at a good grip here, okay, we are trying to put our hands in a place that will deliver our golf club square to the target coming through, okay? So for me, my square is holding it just to the right of center. You can see how this thumb is just to the right of the Golf Pride logo. And if I had a laser beam, it would point just towards my sweet spot there, a few grooves up into the face. My right hand is also in the fingers and is on top. The V's that I've created there, they point kind of towards my right ear, just outside the right side of my head there. That's my neutral grip. Now you're going to see a lot of players who might go into the strong realm. That's going to be on top here. You're going to see more of the knuckles through here. And you can see now the face is square, but the hand is more twisted over. This would lead to a club face that wants to close as it's accelerating through impact, turning the face to the left. The weaker grip would be if my thumb was on top, the V is now pointing more towards the center of my body. Again, the club face is square here. This would lead to someone opening the face, going back more. They can close it back to square, but then from here, they're really going to have a hard time getting any more closure through here. This may be someone who struggles with a slice on the golf ball, okay? So we're going to take a look at those, how it affects what goes on within your swing shape. For the guy with the weak grip, what we're going to see typically is a more open club face in the downswing. So to get this club to square, we have to then stall the body to let the toe of the club catch up like this. So the body's going to look a lot squarer, maybe a little bit stood up as well. If I was to stay in my posture and turn through a lot like this, you're going to see the club face would actually be wide open. So let's look at the opposite of that. The guy with the strong grip is not going to want to stand up and slow his body, because that would get a lot of closing on the face and that ball's going to end up going left or hooking. So this is the guy that you're going to see stays in his angle, rotates through and holds the face square to the target for as long as they can, okay? So you can see how grip will affect your swing shape. This is the root of everything right here. This is our weak one, so the thumb would be on top. Typically the right hand would also be a little bit more over. The V's are now going more center line to the club face. This one won't rotate too much towards the target. It really wants to go this way. So as I come down, I can hardly do this. This is why people who get the face really open, they don't have the ability to time this up. So what they do is they swing their golf club across the ball like this, and this would be the guy that slices it and puts the chicken. So I've switched over to my wedge now, and what you'll see a lot in short game is, for my preference, I would move my grip into a weaker position where the thumb's nearer that top line. The V's now more at my chin, center of my body. Reason for that is, if we look at what the club does as it goes back, this would allow for more opening. If we go back to the beginning, remember we said the weak grip would allow it to turn. And I like to do that in my short game. I like to have enough turn that I can always feel like I'm playing on the open side of the golf club. I think it's a good way to chip. I wouldn't want to be in here with a strong grip for chipping, because that would lead me in here and shut. And for me, I just don't feel comfortable there. I know there's people out there that like to see that, but for my personal preference, I would much rather see my club face feel a little bit more rotated this way. And then as I turn through, I can feel that it's more of a across the ball fitness. That would be my philosophy there on short game. I think it's going to help you hit flop shots. If you learn to be able to play these weaker grip shots, you can get that shaft spinning. It adds a lot more loft, gives you the ability to really get that loft under the ball around the green, okay? So I'd experiment, see what you like best. Start with neutral, look at your chips, maybe video it, and then maybe just weaken it off a little bit if you're struggling to get enough loft and spin on your short game shots. So it's a good way to utilize your grip change there to hit more effective shots. This would be our strong grip. So the hand is more on top, the thumb is more to the side, and the right hand is underneath here. So this one is going to have a hard time opening up going back because it's already twisted this way. So you can see here, I can't really twist the club much here, but it's very easy for me to go this way. So on this takeaway, I would expect to see a face that shuts like this. So if you made it to the end of this video, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel. Try and put out as much content as we can for you guys, and work on that grip, experiment on those different shots around the green as well. And look forward to seeing you guys next time.